Metro. Good evening and welcome into Inside the Ropes live from the Deer Creek course for the Club Car Championship alongside Corey Howard. I'm Amy Zimmer. Second round of the Korn Ferry Tour event just wrapping up. Golfers trying to swing their way into the weekend with the cut line currently projected at 5 under.
Yeah, that's right. And John Pak leading the way. He is at 15 under, leading by 3 strokes.
Yeah, not the finish he was hoping for after having almost a blemish-free round. He's ending 17 and 18 with bogeys. Here's a look at the second round highlights. Spectators out in full force for the second round of the Club Car Championship with all eyes on first round leader John Pak, who set a tournament single round scoring record with a bogey-free 62 on Thursday. Here he is, par 4, first hole. Pak off to a steady start, rolling this one in for par. Meanwhile, another golfer answered with his own perfect round Friday, Canadian Matthew Anderson. The par 4 6 hole, eagle opportunity, rolls just left of the cup, taps it in for his third straight birdie. He would finish with a bogey-free 65, launching him up the leaderboard. Staying on 6, how about the 25-year-old Bryce Lewis sinking about a 25-foot putt? However, the former Tennessee star having an up and down day. He sits at 2 over for the week. A few groups later, it was Troy Merritt making moves, going for his 4th straight birdie here. Just short, he wraps up with a solid 66, staying near the top. On the par 4 10th hole, Chad Sewell with an impressive chip shot, just shy of birdie as it jumps out of the cup. He would finish at 3 under. Afternoon wave, all about the locals. Bluffton native Bryson Nimmer trying to stay above the cut line, gets into trouble on number 9. Could have been a disaster, however. Instead, he manages to keep at bogey by draining this putt, taking him to 5 under par. Former Armstrong State Pirate Shad Tuen continues to be steady. Here he is making the turn at hole 9. Knocks down the short 3-footer to keep him at 7 under par for the tournament. Former Georgia Southern Eagle Ben Carr, the last man into the tournament, also continues to play well. He arrives at number 9 at 7 under and would stay that way when he knocks down the short par putt and would continue to climb. Pretty cool. All of our locals in Nimmer, Carr, and Teuton likely playing into the weekend with an opportunity to take home the iconic seersucker jacket. Meanwhile, it's Pak's to lose while others chase, Corey.
Yeah, it's others who are chasing. We had the chance to talk to several others who are in contention and what they will have to do to jump to the top of the leaderboards and hopefully catch Pak.
I mean, just kind of plotted myself away the last 2 days pretty nicely. Even the bad tee shots were still pretty much in the fairway for the most part. So that's kind of what it'll come down to. Tomorrow's going to be a little tougher with a little different wind, a little colder. So it'll be excited to see what tomorrow brings.
I mean, we're going to have some pretty good wind. It sounds like the next 2 days, nice and cold. Which is how we played 9 holes on Tuesday, and it was challenging. So getting the ball in play and somewhere within 30 feet will be a little bit tougher on the weekend. So ball striking is going to have to be key, and not having all those ticklers for par.
I played well. I hit it really, really well most of the day. My putter kind of let me down. I hit it in some really good spots and just putts wouldn't fall. Seemed like I hit good putts. I need to go to the putting green and work on my speed. I think they got a little faster as the day went on. They were definitely a little crunchy out there. So I'm excited for tomorrow, I hope. Yeah, it's been a fun 2 days.
Yeah, I think the main thing is that I'm not that far behind any of these guys. I still have a lot of learning to do and a lot of improving to do, but watching these people play, there's not a whole lot of difference between them and
And our Isa Rivera joins me now. And Isa, there was one group of golfers on the course that was drawing quite the gallery with deep Georgia roots and just young golfers as well in Buck Brumlow and Cole Hamilton. And you had the opportunity to follow them closely. And let's just say, we heard a lot of dog chants.
Yes, exactly that, Amy. And how about these two both being Georgia Bulldogs? So Brumlow actually recently graduating, and he's telling us that he was there for Coleman's recruitment process and when he was visiting and all of that. And of course, Coleman went on to sign, and he'll be there in the fall. And now they're playing in the same group after earning exemptions at this year's Club Car Championship. The pair grouped together for the opening 2 rounds, and both came out strong, each firing 4 under 68s in round 1 to enter today, tied for 29th 9th. After their second round, Brumlow likely into the weekend at 6 under, and Coleman keeping his fingers crossed at 3 under. Coleman, just 17 years old and an Augusta native, is the reigning U.S. Junior Amateur champion and one of the top junior golfers in the world, and headed to UGA next fall. Meanwhile, Brumlow, a Cartersville native and recent Georgia graduate, won the 2025 Ford Collegiate in Richmond Hill to earn his spot in this field. Both of them now getting a chance to test their game against the pros on a big stage. It's really cool to see these two young golfers be able to not only represent the Georgia Bulldogs, but be able to work towards achieving their professional dreams.
Absolutely. Let's hear what they had to say.
The main thing is that I'm not that far behind any of these guys. I still have a lot of learning to do and a lot of improving to do, but watching these people play, there's not a whole lot of difference between them and me.
But this is my first one at home in the States. It means a lot, especially being with all my family here. It's going to be a fun weekend. It means the world, but yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, like I said, Amy, really amazing to see them represent their school and achieve their dreams of hopefully becoming professional golfers as well.
Absolutely. Certainly inspiring. Thanks so much, Isa, and hopefully we'll see them this weekend. And still to come here on Inside the Ropes, time to check in with our locals looking to punch their ticket into the weekend. Stay with us. Welcome back to Inside the Ropes, live from the Deer Creek course of the Club Car Championship. Our Dave Williams joining me now. And Dave, this second round still wrapping up with one local still out on the course.
Yeah, he's about to wrap up too. But all of the locals yesterday went off in the morning round. Well, this afternoon for round 2. It was the afternoon round. And let's begin things with Bryson Nimmer, the Bluffton native. He got into trouble on number 9 after losing a stroke because his ball went into the marsh. It could have been a disastrous hole for him. Instead, he managed to keep it at bogey by draining that putt. It took him to 5 under par. He'd finish even par for the day, -6 for the tourney. Meanwhile, former Armstrong State Pirate Shad Tootin, also playing some steady golf, makes the turn and knocks down the short 3-footer. That keeps him at 7 under. Former Georgia Southern Eagle Ben Carr, he was the last man into the tournament. He continues to be one of the better stories for the club car. Arrived at 7 under par on number 9 and keep it that way by knocking down the short par putt. He's still on the course number 18. He's at 9 under. Afterwards, though, I caught up with Nimmer after finishing even for the day and making the cut.
Quite a few of them today. I hit it pretty good, just kind of put myself in some tough spots, and putts just weren't dropping, but I was proud just to hang in there. It got kind of windy at the end. It's always step one. You got to make the cut to win, so it's good to do that. Hopefully I can get something special going this weekend, but was a little disappointed in the day, but hopefully the putts start going tomorrow.
And here's a look at the second round leaderboard. Again, Pac leading by 3 strokes at 15 under. Davis Lamb at 12 under. Then a 3-way tie for third at 11 under. And how about 8 other golfers tied for 6th place? Going to be a fun weekend. And speaking of fun, our Rick Snow joins us now, who had a very fun assignment today. One of the best holes on the course, arguably, where there's plenty of entertainment along with great golf.
Amy, as you know, the par 4 5th hole over water is a thrilling hole to watch. It's risky because I'd like to go for it, but the rewards are birdies and eagles and the ratings you get. The 5th hole is a pleasant place to watch golf, and it's known as Schooner Cove. On a mound behind the green are a group of women who rate the shots. It was Elsa Lindenschmidt who originally came up with the idea and named the cove.
This started in 2018 on the first year of the Corn Ferry here at the landings, and this hole is just a place that it's great for viewing, and we thought this is a great thing to start. We are the only group in the PGA Tour that actually rates the shots as they come in.
The shots are rated 1 to 10. You don't want a 1 or even a whoopsie, but eagles and birdies are good, and after all, the idea is to have fun.
Get your beer here.
With these numbered cards, these ladies have found a way to actually participate in the Club Card Championship instead of just being quiet fans. Oh yeah. I'm participating.
I think you need some training.
Sorry. In the afternoon, they might even partake of an adult beverage or two called Schooner Cocktail, and everyone is welcome to participate.
It's a long day, but somebody has to have fun.
Amy, they described that cocktail afterwards, and it sounded like it might be worth sampling sometime.
Okay, good to know. I think I'll take their word for it. Those ladies know what they're talking about.
Oh,
All
yes.
right. Thanks so much, Rick. All right, still to come here on Inside the Ropes, the shot of the day. Stay with us. You're watching Inside the Ropes live from the Deer Creek course for the Club Car Championship. Corey Howard joining me once again. And Corey, as the weekend nears, one of the biggest traditions returns, a Military Appreciation Day.
Yeah, an event that separates the Club Car Championship apart. And WJCL 22 anchor Riley Miller, well, she tells us how the tournament honors those who served.
Military Appreciation is at center stage again this year at the Club Car Championship, from opening ceremonies to the VIP section at Hole 14 with free food and drinks for active duty, reserve, and veterans, to Military Appreciation Day Saturday with military equipment for fans to see, followed by a concert on the range. This day is sponsored by local Savannah business Marines, whose CFO's son served as a Special Ops Ranger for 4 years.
We just wanted to give back to the community, to give back to those that give the most. The sacrifice of the soldiers and their families is just a lot, and I know that firsthand. And it's just a way that we can give back to them and honor them.
All the military appreciation means a lot to one golfer in particular, Kyle Westmoreland, who served as an Air Force officer for 5 years before playing professional golf.
The tournament and community do a great job here. This is a very patriotic community.
He says his time in service helped him transition to playing golf on tour.
There's a lot of great things you can take from the military to professional golf or whatever it is you're going to do in life. And so tried to take some of that, those lessons learned, try to take some of that discipline and perspective into professional golf, and been fortunate to do it for the last 5 or 6 years.
Westmoreland says he loves to see spectators show their patriotism by wearing red, white, and blue on Friday, adding Savannah is one of the best stops of the season.
It's one of my favorites of the year on the Korn Ferry Tour. The course is great, weathers are good, the wind's always blowing, and the food's great. So we love it here, and are excited to be here this week, and hopefully the food as well.
Now let's go to our shot of the day. Former Tennessee star Bryce Lewis on the par 4 6th hole, and the 25-year-old, about 25 feet away, makes it look easy. Lewis drains the putt for birdie, an impressive highlight for the day. Despite missing the cut, this one shot he can remember.
Thanks, Corey. And that's going to do it for Inside the Ropes. Thank you so much for joining us. Our coverage continues throughout the weekend. Be sure to join us. For our entire team, I'm Amy Zimmer. Have a great night.